Hi, Cyber Babies. It's the even more fabulous Mother Love coming to you on a glorious day. I'm glad that you've decided to join us live. You can always join us live, or even if you can't join us live, you can get us on the. I was going to say get us on the download, but you know what's the? I don't get the
You
terminology.
can download the show. You can look at
Download. It wasn't
Facebook,
download.
Instagram.
Okay, Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, all of those.
Yes.
That's Mr. Kennedy sitting there looking fabulous. As always, this is handsome. Now he got some new headphones. Oh, Lord, what we going to do with him now? Let's talk about so many things. First, I want to talk about the GOAT in the 24th Olympics. Well, in the 2024 Olympics in Paris that just ended a couple of days ago. And that chick, is she bad? She is bad. And that's Simone Biles. And she about this many big, right? Y'all, she's so tiny. I could fold her up and put her in my pocketbook. And she kept jumped out and just showed them what she was working with. And we commend her and all of the Olympics and all of the Olympians, the new ones and the ones that have been there before. And we also want to salute the future Olympians because they coming up 4 years.
Yes.
They're gonna be right here in LA in 28. In LA
Yeah.
in 28. I think
2028.
it's gonna be great. Gonna be great. And I just truly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the opening ceremony. I enjoyed the I even watched the javelin people. That's how much I love the Olympics. And I'm just it was just so great to see all these nations put forth their very best athletes from their countries to be recognized the world over, and they all got along. Why can't the countries get along? Did you see what the babies did when they went to Paris? Was any of you all embarrassed? Were any of you all like, oh my God, it was just like such a horrible thing? That is
No.
a prestigious. Oh, that's a prestigious event every 4 years. And they had the controversy. Now, don't get me wrong, they had the controversy. And I want to ask you, Mr. Kennedy, one of the controversies was with Simone and the gymnasts. And she got the silver. The young lady, I think she's from Brazil, she got the
Yes.
gold. And,
Brazil.
and
Yes.
another American, young Jordan Childs. I think, baby, please don't hold it against me. And then I thought they gave the young lady from Brazil like the greatest salute. And we got gold medal and gold, silver, and bronze. There have never been three women of color on the podium like that. I don't think in the history of the Olympics or whatever it was. Then the Olympics come and say, "Oh, well, Jordan, you was over by 4 seconds for something." I still haven't got that, and they took her bronze medal
Okay.
away. What's
Wait a minute.
what is going on over here, Mr. Kennedy?
Okay. What they ruled that she didn't. They took off points for part of her routine instead of her being now the bronze medalist. They they was put making someone else the bronze medalist.
They took
Okay.
it
They
away from
filed
her
an
and they
appeal.
gave it to another young lady, and
Okay, and they wait a minute. The U.S. has filed an appeal. Okay, that
they
appeal,
lost the appeal.
but they're filing the second appeal,
Oh,
so it's not completely over yet. So it's yet to be resolved to see whether or not she would get her medal back or not. It may take a little longer, but I think she will get it back. I think she will be successful in the appeal once it's all said and done.
and it's over 4 seconds. Oh my
No,
God!
no, they said they didn't file the appeal on
In
enough
time, if
time.
they were four
And
seconds
it
late.
was too late, and
I mean, everybody should
that
get a grace period at least 15 minutes. You don't know what's
well.
going to happen in between.
I mean, these are rules. No, these are rules that have already been set up. This, so it's not like they just
Right
made
away.
these rules up today.
Mm.
This is something that everybody already knows before going in. If you have an appeal, you have this allotted amount of time to file your appeal, and if you don't file it in that allotted time, then you're not allowed to file an appeal. So you have to be aware of the rules, as like everybody else.
Okay, but 4 seconds.
You have to be aware of the
Well, and
rules.
I guess in 4 seconds, that could be the difference between life and death sometimes. But this wasn't life and death. This was, I mean, I looked at it as they were,
Okay, but you have to look at it as like everybody else. Is that okay? This is only one particular incident, but when you have all these athletes from all these different countries, you have to have rules and ways to resolve issues right away
that's
because
what the Olympic
it
Committee. I mean, I get that, but
does
they.
because you wanted to honor whoever's going to win that particular medal to be honored there at the ceremony, not for it to be controversy to be done for a while.
Okay, let me ask you
Okay.
this. All of these people have trainers and
Yes.
coaches and
Yes.
obviously people that are supposed to be
Handlers.
responsible for the business end of it so they can focus
Yes.
on performing at such a high level. So is
Yes.
that on Jordan because her people were 4 seconds late and the Olympic Committee would punish her by saying, well, your people was late, so you don't get a gold, you don't get to keep the bronze medal.
Unfortunately, that's how it happened.
And I
I mean,
understand about the timing and
okay,
everything, watching
so you
track and
have to
field, they win
accept.
by like a scintilla of a second, a chess
Okay,
move of a second.
well, once again, they have filed an appeal. We
Mhm.
will see if the appeal will be successful or not. But there are rules to everything, and to say throw
But
out the rules
a
because
lot of people like break the rules, and is that really breaking a rule? Is it maybe sort of kind of like bending it, or was it that drastic? Well, okay, shut up, mother love. I just answered my own question in my head. But then that's not track and field. That's gymnastics.
okay, but you also have to stop and accept the fact that this is part of it. And if you don't go by the rules, then what's the use of having rules if you don't go by it? I mean, she's filing an appeal. What she legally has the right to do is to file an appeal. That appeal has been filed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first one was successful, but she has a chance to. They're filing a second appeal. So we really have to wait and see how that works out, if it works out or not
Well, I
for her.
saw it on the floor. You're right about the rules and regulations, and sometimes we often want to bend and or break the rules because then a lot of people act like the rules don't really apply to them. When we're out on the road and we're watching drivers and they have a thing called road rage. I mean, a lot of people have been killed because of road rage because you are so angry that it in a split second it changed like that. So I get it.
I mean, but can you? But how many of them get a chance to file an appeal and say, "Wait a minute, okay,
I didn't
I was
really kill
angry at
them
that
some people.
moment, and I really didn't mean to shoot you. I didn't mean to run my car into your car. So because I want to appeal and say, well, I was just upset, or I don't really think it was my fault. It was your fault because that is what you did. I mean, so you can't compare like an accident to gymnastics because and the
No,
gymnastics.
I'm not. I'm just talking about the time frame, and I understand how
Oh, okay,
important
but
it is in track and field, and you only have so much time to perform
yes,
your routine and do what it
yes,
is you do, and
yes.
you have to be ready for that. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
I don't like it, but I get it.
Okay. I mean, but she still is filing an appeal, so we'll have to wait and see how the appeal goes
Well,
because she
in
may
my
be
heart,
successful.
Jordan, you are a medalist. You are an Olympic champion because you all went out there and they showed they behind. Oh, it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. Oh, I love it. I loved all of it. I told you the one that came out in 2000, no 2020. That's when we had the last Olympics. When I fell in
Yes.
love with curling. So you just never know when you watch it. And I watched it in the middle of the
I mean,
night.
the more events you watch, the more chances you have to be, enjoy different events or learn about something
Mhm.
new because you weren't watching that before, but now you are watching
But
it,
because
which is
I
great.
wouldn't have been, I didn't even know that they had an Olympic sport called curling. I thought it was like
Yeah.
something that had to do with your hairdresser because that's what I get curled my hair. And watching
Oh,
them move and push this big giant, I don't know how it weighs a lot, this big giant stone, and it's a two-person operation.
yes.
I really liked it. I was like, oh, that's intense. Well, I liked all of it. I liked everything, the weightlifting and the swimming.
I mean,
Oh
it's an
my God,
amazing thing.
the
It's
swimming. They were
amazing
breaking
to
their
watch
own
these
record.
people.
And you know what I would
It's a,
like to see?
yes.
I would like to see more young people, get into swimming and understand the rules of swimming, so maybe that they can compete. One of the things, especially around our neighborhoods, a lot of these kids have never learned to swim. Their
I mean,
parents
but
don't
more
know.
people are though. But that's why you expose people to more things. They get a chance to do more. I mean, swimming actually comes natural to a lot of people if you have the opportunity
It come
to
natural to
swim.
babies. It come natural
Well,
to babies. I remember putting our baby in the bathtub with me, and he put his head up under the water, and he came up. He thought that was the coolest thing, and he must have been about He couldn't have been no more than 6 or 7 months old, and
But
he just turned
that's
into
because
a
he
water
doesn't have
baby. He
fear.
was a
Okay,
water baby instantly.
but that means that he doesn't have the fears. I mean, most of the things we don't do is because we fear that it may
Mhm.
not work, it may not go right, and so we don't want to do something because we fear that it may not work.
I just want to say this, since he brought up, you can't be fearful. Now, my husband thinks he doesn't know how to swim.
I
Okay, and
don't.
and it said he doesn't know how to swim. I was a swimming instructor. I came from water. My father was a scuba diver, and he was one of the first African American. They had their own scuba diving team, and
Yeah, in
so
Ohio, yes,
in Ohio,
yeah,
in Cleveland.
yeah.
So, and he had this boat. It looked so huge, and it was all these people that were on the boat. And it was only, come to find out, it was only like 5 or 6 adults and then us kids on the boat.
Okay,
And we wanted to learn how to swim too. We wanted to put on. He took
yes.
us on the side of that boat, threw us in the water, and we were on the front side of the break wall, and we were like, "What do we do?" And we just start swimming, and we made it to the boat, and all of us learned how to swim. Many of us
I
were.
mean, which was a great thing. I mean, and we want
Okay,
more.
but I brought that up to say this. Now, here's the guy that claims he can't swim, and psychologically you believe that. Okay, but you've had
Not
some run-ins with
psychologically.
water. Can we share
I've
the
almost
run-ins with
drowned.
water that you've had? Because
I've had five
I
different
just
run-ins with almost drowning. So to say that I can swim when you've almost drowned 5 different times, I don't consider that to be a swimmer. If you're a swimmer, have you almost drowned 5 times? Even one
no,
time?
no,
Oh well, okay. Well
no.
then, for me to say I'm not a
I
swimmer,
almost drowned one
makes
time. I almost drowned one time. We were trying to do the synchronized dancing in the water, right? And so I was the one that think, because in the water you're weightless. So I said, "Oh, I could do this. I could do this." And so the the chick that was on my shoulders, she started panicking, and I'm like, "Let me go!" And I couldn't get her feet off of my shoulders. I'm like, and I'm
okay, but
underwater.
that wasn't because you couldn't swim.
No, it wasn't. It's because somebody was
That's a
standing on my
difference.
shoulders
I
because
mean,
she.
I've almost drowned on several different occasions. So we was in
Okay,
the
I brought
Atlantic
that up.
Ocean,
I
one
wanted
in the Atlantic Ocean. So if okay,
wait a minute. I
if I
wanted
had
to
not
bring
had
that
a
up. Let me say, I wanted to bring that up to the people to just share just what his mentality is now. He says he couldn't swim. Tell me
okay,
about what happened in Chichen Itza when we went to the lake or the pond or wherever it was with the big giant tree.
with the tree, the roots were inside of a cave. At the bottom
Okay.
of the cave, there was a pond that you could swim in, and you could dive off this ladder that was built inside there. That was part of the entertainment that you would get while you were there, because they had little young men that would climb up the ladder about maybe 20 feet high or so, I would imagine, and then dive off into the water, and they would charge the people who would come into the cave, tourists that came in. They would say, "Oh, give me $1 and watch me climb up the ladder and dive off the ladder into the water." Okay, so when they was asking us about it, I'm like, "Oh well, what, we here? Hey, if they can jump off the ladder, I can do it too." Okay, I wasn't concerned about it because I had on a life jacket, so I wasn't worried about, oh, I might drown. If now I would have thought differently if I had not had a life jacket on, but I had a life jacket on, so I had no worries about possibly falling. So
So
I
worry
went
your
ahead.
wife. What and we're
No,
looking
you was there
around
reason.
for
Wait a
you.
minute. Was there a reason for you to worry when I had on a life jacket? Now I did have.
Well, honey,
Now if
I
I
just
did
never
not have on a
expected
life
you to
jacket,
do
then that would have
something
been
like
different.
that. I just never expected you to climb up all the way up those 12, however tall it was. And you go, "Look, honey, watch me." And you jumped off that. You jumped. My heart just went through.
Well,
It
I
just
saw two other
separated
people
into
do
two
it. Just
pieces.
I saw two other people do it just before me. They did it. They
They were
climbed back up. They jumped
children.
again. Oh,
They were
they
children.
still did it.
They
Okay, I
lived
was an
there.
adult. They were children. They were able to do it.
Oh, so
I
that was
knew
your
if they
ego.
could
I
do it.
won't be outdone by some children.
No, it was
And they
not
live
about
here.
being
This is
out.
what they do.
Not to be outdone. No, the fact that they could do it. I mean, we were on vacation. I thought it was hey, it's a cool thing to do. It's not like I do this every day.
It's a great
Okay.
memory. I'm telling you, it was a great memory.
Yes.
We after he jumped into the pond and we got up and
Right.
I was picking up the pieces of my face off of the wood and everything. He thought that
Yes.
you thought that was the funniest thing. You laughed
It
so
was a cool
much.
thing to do. I mean,
Amber,
it's
that's
not that you
funny.
do
He
every
like,
day. No, it's something you don't do every day.
No, you
That
don't.
we're not on vacation every day. We were on vacation. We was a place that was really, was exciting. I thought it wasn't a bad thing. I mean, just like I see, we have a couple of folks that are, that are watching the show,
Mm.
you know, and I was looking we have Janie Davis who's watching the show. She
Well,
said, "Hey,
hey,
you
Danny
got
Davis, how come I can't see it on my side?
because you didn't click it. That's why."
And you told me
Click
that.
chat. Oh, go down to chat on the right side, lower right side.
Oh, okay, I see that. Okay.
Okay, click on it.
Okay. Oh, hey, I see y'all. Look at y'all.
Oh, there you go. See,
Hey, Joe Burton. Hi, baby. Hey, Janie. Look, they coming from around the country. Joe is down
around the
there in
country
one of the
to listen
Carolinas.
to us.
And Janie, you
And
know we love.
Phoenix, Arizona is in the house. That's Janie
What's
down in
up,
Phoenix.
Phoenix, Arizona? In the house. Okay, so now that we have other people on, we can think. First of all, I want to know, what did you guys think of the Olympics and them taking away Jordan's bronze medal in a gymnastic routine? You know.
Well, when we watched the gymnastics,
Mhm.
and it's hard. I mean, even watching it to know exactly how they score. I mean, on even the beam when they were up on the beams, as so many small little things when they was doing the flow routines. They took off if you did a hop or if you
Or you
step back
jump, step out of bounds.
or if you step out of bounds, you get a whole point taken off. So they have to have markers in order to determine who would be the winner.
Mhm.
You know, which is okay though. They got it right. I mean, for the most part,
Oh, I
I don't
always say,
agree. I
well,
said for the most part,
it's not perfect.
no. I mean, but that's why you're going to file an appeal. You have the right to file an appeal when something
Well,
does not go right.
I'm gonna have to do some research to find out how many times they can file an appeal, because I thought it was unfair. But hey, I don't make the rules
Okay,
like
they filed an appeal, they lost it. They filed a second appeal. So there's at least you're going to file at least twice because this is the second appeal that they filed on her behalf.
that. Okay, well, I want to move on. This is still
Okay.
This is still a Simone Biles story.
Yes.
Now, she and her sister, her younger sister Adria, they were
Yeah.
removed from their mother's home because she had drugs and alcohol issues, and she couldn't take care of herself, let alone her children. And
Okay.
rather, making sure they don't go into the foster care system, their grandmother and their grandparents came and got them. And
Okay.
this is her mother, Simone's and her mother's. This is her mother and father. So they take the kids in. She's been estranged. The mother's been estranged from these girls for 20. They have been like had a lot of connection for since 2000 when all this happened. So she's 27 now. So you think
Okay. Okay.
24?
Okay. No, that would have been she was 23 when her mother came back into her life. I mean, if a mother put them up for adoption, they were adopted
Well, it doesn't say that
by the
she put them up
grandparents.
for
I mean,
adoption.
not for adoption. I
I
mean,
thought she just signed over her paternal rights to her parents. So
okay.
they didn't have to go through that process.
Which because being a blood related, some things you
Right.
don't have to do that other people would have to do. Like
Right.
when we tried to adopt, they said, okay, you weren't adopting relatives. You were first trying to adopt kids, just
Mhm.
two strangers. So you had to go through a whole list of things. You had to be fingerprinted and all these other things because we were not adopting relatives. In her case, her parents, her grandparents adopted them,
And
and
see,
everything was great with it.
that's what got me when we were working to adopt the kids, was the fact that they didn't consider us relatives, but they were relatives. But they said, "Well, you too far down the food chain, so you got to adopt them like
Well,
strangers."
I mean, and that's I look at it as being a safeguard for both, for us and for the kids, because
Mhm.
you still have to vet people. I mean, just like in Simone Biles' case, okay, her mother, because of the issues that she was having at the time when she had her and her sister, felt that she could not take care of them, and so she let her parents, take on the role that she would have had. But that doesn't talk about their father. They still have a father.
Yeah, we
No,
haven't
we
heard
will.
anything about
Okay,
that.
not that we. Yes, you're correct. We have not heard about that, but they still had a father,
Right.
even though we have not heard about it.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because Now, their grandparents have been caring for them since they were toddlers. I mean,
Yes,
because I still look at a 3-year-old like a toddler.
yeah,
And
that is a toddler.
what?
That is a toddler.
Okay,
3 years
so
old, you still are a
these kids
toddler.
are toddlers when their grandparents get them, and I
Yeah.
don't know what kind of relationship that the mother had with the kids after her parents after she signed over parental rights to them, and she was saying that she wants to be involved in Simone and her sister Adria's life, and I suppose her parents as well. Now you know that her daughter is recognized the world over as one of the, if not, no, she is the greatest of all time. She is a bona
Okay.
fide, certified, in stone. She is a GOAT. And now that she's getting all of this attention, I'm just kind of suspect of the timing of the mother wanting to come back into her life and going public with her saying that, I want to see my kids. And I think I read an article where she said she hadn't physically seen them in 6 years. So
Okay,
now
but
you
it's
signed over
6
your
years.
parental rights. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Okay, now when you were mentioning one, okay, that's 6 years ago. She approximately, because we don't know all the details,
Mhm.
but we're assuming around 6 years ago she came back into their lives. Okay, she had already been in the Tokyo Olympics, and
Right.
she withdrew from that. Okay, the fact that she would, her mother is watching her star rise. I mean, I don't know her mother's condition, and we don't. I don't know if you know her mother's condition or not. Whether she is,
Oh, she
off
said
of
she was
drugs
clean
now.
and sober now, and it was time for
Okay,
her to come back into her kids' lives. And
okay.
I'm thinking, like you said,
Well, but
Simone was in the
20,
Tokyo.
20 Simone is 27. Though. You say you're coming back into somebody's life. Okay, if you left at 3, when they got adopted at 3,
Mhm.
now you coming back at 27. So that's 24 years
Yes.
that you were absent or not on the scene for the most part.
Mhm.
We would assume.
Right. That's what she
Okay,
said. This is 2024. They have been estranged since 2020. So now the girls are old enough to
okay.
make
So
a
she was in the
decision.
Olympics. Okay, wait a minute. You got to look at the timeline.
And I wonder if that
2020.
was
She,
one of
she
the
was in the
reasons why.
Olympics. She was in the Olympics in 2020. This
Right.
is 2024. So Simone.
No, she hasn't been. They've been estranged since 2000, 24
Oh,
years ago.
that's okay. That's what I said. Getting the timeline
Right.
correct. The fact because in 2020 Simone was in the last Tokyo Olympics, and
Right.
now this is the Paris Olympics.
Right.
All right. The fact that she's coming back into their life. I mean, I would hope it's for good intentions, but I think most people stop and pause for a moment when someone says they're ready to come back into your life when they've been gone for so long, and then they come back in after you become famous, or the fact that okay,
Or when you get
I
rich
mean,
and famous.
well, famous and rich kind of go together usually. Usually, but now you think about it. I mean, because even with basketball players, they may not know their father, and you see their mother has gone to all their games, and now all of a sudden, then the father wants to come back into their life after not being in their life. I mean, it even happened to Shaq. Now he was raised by, I believe, his grandfather as well, or the guy who stepped up to be his father,
I thought, yeah,
and then his real father, you know, not
birth
real father,
father.
but his birth father, said, "Okay, well now I want to get to know you." And Shaq was taken back by that, if I believe correctly. Is that okay? Why you want to come back now? Okay, I had a father figure all my life because you chose not to be there, and now that I'm wealthy and famous, now you say, okay, well, hey, remember me?
And I'll
Hey,
be
you
like,
remember
I
me?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
know you.
That I did know you because you chose not to be there. And
Right.
now coming back in, I mean, I don't know if that's totally the same case with Simone, that her mother was totally out of their life. And then now just in the past 6 years, it said, oh, what no, now I want to come back because is it because I really care and want to be a part of your life? Or am I coming back because you're famous now and I see a way for me to profit now?
See,
Because you could
that's the
because more
selfish
than likely
thinking
a
right
book would
there.
be, she'll probably want to
So
write a book.
so and you really don't know because she could be. I'm I am happy for her Her name is Shannon Biles. I'm happy for her that she's gotten clean and sober. I'm happy for
Yes,
her that she's hopefully on the right path. And
yes.
you know, I would be like,
Now
see,
see now.
that's why when we were growing up, people didn't put their babies up for adoption. We just folded
I
them
mean, but
into a
some
family
people,
someplace, and
okay,
that's
some people did not. Most people didn't, but some people did. And even in her case, I mean, because all the time, I mean, everybody's circumstances are so different, and I don't want to try
right.
to lump everybody into one bowl and say, okay, well, this shouldn't be. I mean, you people wonder with good reason why when you've been out of somebody's life all that time, and then
Oh, and
because they become famous and and
and they
become
start
rich, and then all of a
coming
sudden
out
now
the
you want to
woodwork.
come back.
I mean, I can't even tell you the number of people who said to me, "Well, you only doing like you doing, Mother Love, because I help you do so and so and such and such." I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Oh, I came to your shows all the time. I'm like, okay, and
I mean, but everybody
yeah, I
want
think you owe me. Oh, you what?
or everybody want
And they
want to
never
get the
came up with an
vapors.
answer from that.
Everybody want a little bit of the vapors. It's like, hey, you done well. How can I benefit? I mean, and that's why people wonder if it's really a true one to reunite with her daughters, or if it's just you saying, hey, here's a chance for me to make good on a situation that you made great for yourself. You become great on your own right without me guiding you to get there.
And
But now that you're there, now can I benefit from this too now?
it's really something because when Simone bowed out of the out in Toronto, no, in Tokyo.
Out of Tokyo Olympics.
And she said, I got to stop this because I got to get my head together. My head
Yes,
is not on straight, and I
yes.
cannot focus on this. And I commend her tremendously to being able to understand herself and know, okay, I got to step away from this because
Yes,
something just ain't right. And
correct.
we hadn't read anything about her mother came to her rescue to be there with her to help her through her hard and difficult times.
But once again, that happens later. Usually, you go through all the trauma, you got all the attention, everybody's watching you around the world, and then okay, I am attached to you. I'm the mother. So can I come? I
See, the
can come back
birth
into your
mother.
life at
See,
any time.
that goes to my adage. Just because you have a baby does not make you a mother.
Correct.
And how many kids are out here and they call their birth parents, they call the father. First time I heard a kid say that, she said, "That's not my father. He was my mother's. He was a sperm donor, and I'm glad he donated his sperm because I got the best parents in the world." And then now the biological families feel like, "Oh, what the heck? I can't they? Why can't they forgive me? I got a whole new lease on life." Okay, forgiving is
Isn't
one thing.
hindsight?
Wait a minute, let me say, forgiving is one thing, and that's for it. So it's not, the weight is not on you. You can
Okay.
forgive them for sometimes the worst, horrendous behavior. You don't have to forget it, and you don't have to
Right.
allow that much of that real estate in your brain. That's where the control
I mean,
comes
but
in. That's where the calmness comes in. That's when you got to know you got to get all of this in tune, and you don't need to listen to this white noise. You don't need to be listening to these toxic people. You got to get yourself together and
I
to
mean,
be
but
able to separate herself from this, from gymnastics and all the stuff that goes with it, so she could come back on her terms, and she came back with the
right.
vengeance.
Okay, but now
I'm
think.
just
Okay,
saying,
what about the father? I mean,
I don't know
because
about the father. I
okay,
don't hear about the
I know
father,
you
but the
don't. I mean, I'm not
grandparents.
saying it. I didn't say that you knew about the father. I said what
I
about the
don't know what
father?
about the father. We
Okay,
know
but
she had a biological sperm donor, because where
okay,
we're seeing all of this,
okay,
her
we don't know.
grandparents have been there with them for the duration.
And
You
I'm
don't
not.
get to
I'm
come in and
agreeing with that.
piecemeal. You don't get to come in and
Okay,
piecemeal
but
my time. You don't get to come in and piecemeal my time when you couldn't even give me time as your child, and now you wanna do the whole mother thing.
okay, but everybody's circumstances is different, though.
I get that.
Okay, wait a minute. Everybody's circumstances is different because I mean, when we talk about the fact that over 50% of the households in America now are run by a single parent. Okay, how much do they allow that child to know about the other half? Because I mean, a
What
lot
if
of
the
times
other
people.
half is abusive? What if the other
I
half
didn't say, wait a minute, I didn't say
is a criminal? What if the half is the other is something is not right with him mentally? What if the other half is suffering from a mental illness that you
okay,
can't take
well,
lightly? What if they're schizophrenic or bipolar or any of these other things
okay,
that
well,
will
think about this though.
negate you from? negate you from being able to develop and grow your parenting skills. When you have kids, it's not about you anymore. It
Okay, I
really
have a
is
question
not
though.
about you. You do have to take care of yourself to be able to take care of your children effectively. You should have had that together before you even start having kids to know what your needs
Okay,
are
well,
and
how many
what
people
you're
do
gonna
though?
do.
Okay, women, women. I'm saying women because it's
Okay, you
like
just said
there's
wait
ten
a minute
thousand stories.
4 times. What
Okay,
am I
women. I'm
waiting
I'm
for?
saying that there's a million different stories on why people don't are not associated with their parents. I mean, it's not just one reason why they're not there because we know a lot of folks, who have kids and they know that the other party didn't want kids, but you had the child anyway, and then you tell the child, okay, well now that your daddy should want to be in your life when your mom and your daddy knew that was something that they wanted to do together. Was the mother thinking about that? Is it all the way just on the mother all the time, or is it also should the mother be letting the child know
Well, if the
who his
mother
parents
knew,
is,
if
who
wait,
is who
hold
the
on,
father
wait,
is,
hold
and his
on,
parents?
wait, hold on. Okay, if one of the parties said, "I don't want to have any kids," but you know that you're gonna have sex with this woman, and she knows she's gonna have sex with this man, and he tells you, uh, uh, "I don't want to have no kids," so we just playing around. I don't want to have no kids, and she knew this, and she gets
Well, he
pregnant
knew it
anyway
too.
because wait a minute, she's not. And neither one of them are using any kind of protection. Now
Okay,
these are
but
both
then women, that's
grown
both
women.
of them
Let
women.
me finish. Why you gotta keep talking over me? You ready? I said the guy says to the girl, "I don't want to have any kids," and she says, "Well, don't worry about that. I use protection." And he said, "Well, I want to wear a condom," and she says, "Well, no, you don't have to worry about that. I take birth control pills." And she didn't say she knew she was going to stop taking the pills or for whatever reason she gets pregnant. And she calls the dude up, and she says to him, "Okay, well, I'm pregnant." And he would say, "That sounds like a personal problem to me." "Well, this is your baby." "Okay, that's another personal problem for you. Because I told you from the beginning, I did not want to have any children." And she goes and have one anyway. And how is this going to make her daughter feel, their daughter feel, to know that her biological father didn't want to have anything to do with her? What would that? I mean, that's like some jacked up. And I know several people who have
Okay,
who
but
have
when you
done
say
that.
okay, when you say that though, okay, he knew he was playing with fire too though. See, it's easy to try to say it's all on her. It's not all on her. If he knew from the get go that he did not want to have kids, but you still having sex with somebody and you have an
In their
unprotected sex.
childbearing
Oh,
years.
okay, wait a minute. Unprotected sex.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you know that you playing Russian roulette yourself. For as much as you want to, the man want to always put it on the woman. Say, okay, you take the protection, so I can enjoy myself without having to protect myself. Well, now, how fair? How is that fair on his part? The one to say, okay, I want to have all the benefits, but no responsibility. If you when you
He
start
didn't
having
want to
sex with,
have children.
okay, then
Now,
why was he messing
when people
around?
tell you
Why
what
was
they
he
will,
messing
wait a minute, when
around then?
people tell you what they will and will not do, I would err on the side of caution and believe what they say. He
Okay,
said he didn't want to have any kids when she started having babies and everything, and he kept saying, "I done told you I don't want
okay,
any
but he kept
children.
going back. He
Don't
kept
do
going
it
back.
again." So I'm
Wait a
like, "Why
minute.
you keep
He's
sleeping
just
with her?"
as guilty.
Well,
He's
having
just
sex
as
with her,
guilty.
isn't
He's just as guilty as she is.
it? Is it
Because
guilty to make a
yes,
baby? Well,
yes. Okay, okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you're telling me over and over again, this is what I do not want, but then you're telling me, okay, but I don't want to. I don't want to wear protection. Now, I want you don't want to be protected, so we don't have kids. I want to keep having sex with you, but I want you to protect you. Now, I don't want to protect me. I want you to protect us. You have to be the one to protect us. That's not fair to her when he knew what he was doing. If he really didn't want to have kids, he should have
he
been
should have been
protecting
having
himself
sex
as well.
with her. That's what I
Okay, well,
say.
that's what I'm saying. It's just as much his fault as it is her fault. I don't try to say it's all just her fault because she said I want to keep having sex with you. He kept wanting to have sex with her as well.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
move on to a topic that is affecting millions of Americans,
Okay.
including us, which
Yes.
was just, I mean, well, we found out that the Social Security Administration has been allegedly hacked, and people got access to 2.9 billion people's records. It's not 2.9 billion people in America that's on Social Security, is it? Don't we have what? We got what? 300 million people in
400.
America?
Okay, but what they're referring to is not just today. They're talking about for probably over the entire length of Social Security. Once the hackers got in, they got access to people who Social Security numbers that people are dead. So you got millions and millions of people who have already expired, but Social Security has their numbers because
Well,
they all
that's
had Social
kind of
Security numbers.
stupid. What they need their number? Because I've
Oh,
heard that people, as a person who was, I don't want to say I was victimized, I'm a survivor of
you were
identity
victimized.
theft. And
Okay, but
that
I
was,
mean, how you look at it, you were a victim because somebody stole your identity. It was stolen.
yeah, that's true.
I
That's
mean, no
true.
matter no
But I
matter
didn't
how.
feel like I was victimized. I felt like, she was kind of trifling to steal my identity and run stuff up. So now I got to figure out, what am I going to
Well,
do
how
to
was
keep myself protected? So
so
I
you
chose
were
to
a
look at
victim then?
myself like a survivor, not a victim. I ain't going to let anybody tell me I'm a victim of anything. I was not
Okay,
a victim. I was a
okay.
survivor. She stole my
So how come you
identity.
not be a victim then? I mean,
Because I choose not to be a victim. You
okay,
just
you
call
choose
me a
not to
victim
call
when I
yourself.
tell you I'm
Okay,
not a victim.
wait a minute.
I ain't never
Wait.
felt victimized.
Okay, wait a minute. Whether you felt victimized or
That
not, the
just because
point.
you say you was victimized.
Okay,
No,
okay,
I was not
okay.
victimized.
All right. So then the 2.9 billion people who these people hacked in and got our social security numbers. None of us are victims, and we just say we're not victims.
If you choose to
That
say you're
doesn't
a victim,
change it.
that's on you. That's a personal
But you
choice.
are a victim.
That I
You are
am
a victim.
not a victim. You can't
Yeah.
sit there and try to badger me in the picket.
That
No,
ain't badgering
listen.
you.
Stop right there. Stop. That conversation is going nowhere with me being a victim because I'm not. I'm not never ever gonna be a victim. Whatever happened to me, I'm gonna work with it. I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna get on the other side of it. Victims hold on to that stuff too long, and I'm not doing it. And so I couldn't have my mind all clogged up with like, oh my God, oh, what was me? She stole my identity. I'm like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on. She bought a
But she
house full
did
of
though.
furniture. She did all kind of stuff to my identity.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
she
it took
did
me
do it though, right?
7.5 years to get whole again. That doesn't
Okay, but
make
she
me a
did do it.
victim.
She did do it though. Okay, you said
Yeah,
no,
she did do
but for
it.
7 years you were a victim, whether you want to classify
I
yourself
was,
as a victim or not. Wait a minute, but
listen,
wait a minute.
no.
You say no,
No,
but it did
no, I'm
happen.
telling you, no, I am not a victim. Well, I'm a victim. It's crazy stuff that you're talking about. You are a victim. You are a victim. No, you can't tell me
How
I'm
do
a
you
victim.
not
I
be?
know what I am. I'm not a victim. I
Okay.
told you that before, and
Oh,
I'm telling you again. No, I am not a
okay.
victim,
Well,
y'all.
okay, you say you're not.
I'm a
Okay.
survivor. I'm not a
A
victim.
survivor of what?
I'm a survivor of identity theft. Where I had to get my identity back for me. That's being a survivor. That don't make me a victim. You
Okay.
can scratch your head
Okay.
all day long. No,
Okay. I mean, I
listen,
don't.
I just want y'all to
It's the
know.
word.
Listen,
It's the
okay,
logic of the word.
Kennedy,
It's the
stop.
word.
Just stop talking. Just stop talking because you talking crazy right now.
I'm
You
talking
gonna sit up
crazy.
and, yeah, you talking
I'm
crazy,
talking
trying to
crazy.
make me be you're a victim. No, I am not a victim. What I'm saying to the 2.9 billion people before, during, and after, be mindful of what you do with your records. And we a lot of times we can't do anything about somebody else hacking into a government entity because we don't know all the stuff. When it came up with the numbers, it says hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American. Here's how.
4 months ago. 4 months ago.
Oh, and
The article said it happened 4 months ago. They just
okay,
telling you now.
yeah.
It happened 4 months ago. So for 4 months, you didn't know that that this happened to Americans. That we were victimized by somebody hacking into the social security system. That made anybody who had that they got their social security number a victim of theft, of their numbers being stolen.
Right.
That no, whether you want to say we are a victim or not, we are a victim of a crime.
Well, maybe you're a victim.
Well, yes, I
I'm
am a
not a
victim.
victim.
If they stole
Okay, this is
my,
what.
my social security number and they're using it, yes,
Can
I am
you
a victim
stop
of a crime.
talking long enough for me to come up and tell you what the solutions are? Jeez, I don't know what it got in you today. Yes, it says after 4 months, a notorious hacking group claimed to have stolen an extraordinary amount of sensitive personal information from a major data broker. So they stole it from the data broker that Social Security was using to protect them. A number of the group has reportedly released most of it for all free online on a free online marketplace for stolen personal data. I know they had a whole marketplace for stolen. The breach, which includes Social Security numbers and other sensitive data, could power a raft of identity theft, fraud, and other crimes. And what you can do to protect yourself. And they say data breaches have been so common over the years. Some security experts say sensitive information about you is almost already certainly available in the dark corners of the internet.
Okay, so what are they suggesting you do?
They are suggesting if you suspect that your Social Security number or other important identifying information about you has been leaked, experts say you should put a freeze on your credit at all three major credit bureaus. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And I've always been a suspect of them, all three of them, because you got the credit records of just about everybody in America. And, you tell us that we can't clean things up. That was a big thing, delving into my identity theft, because it was like they were dragging their feet. I remember one guy telling me I was a pest because I said, no, I want somebody dedicated to helping me get to the bottom of this. They want to always throw the blame around. And I'm like, I know we're going to get to the bottom of this. And I did my research and I did what I learned to do. And it took me a while. I finally got my name cleared, I had to write every time I went to apply for credit, and it could be frustrating.
Okay, but did that happen to you again though?
What?
Okay, wait a minute. You did receive another letter saying that another company that you were doing business with said that your information was compromised in their system.
Oh yeah, JP Morgan Chase.
Oh.
Yeah. I forget. Yeah, that was another one.
Okay,
it does happen.
I
just got a letter from them
right
yesterday. JP Morgan Chase right here. Talking about my data has been compromised. And
so that's the second time, and they said they gave you steps to try to protect yourself, correct?
Oh yes, they did. Oh, and they offered me 2 free years of free credit scores and reports, and all of this, that, and the third. And I monitor it. And as I've gotten older, I don't need. I don't even want to apply for another credit card or to get a card because my data is already out there. So it's almost
but what if somebody else did it?
Say it again.
What if somebody else did it? If your information has been compromised, someone else could be going out there applying for a credit card in your name, and if you don't follow up, then you wouldn't even be aware that was happening until it came back, and you went to try to get credit or needed credit before you would find out that had happened though. So it is something that you have to be aware of.
Freeze your information. That's one. It says change your password, so you could do it for free. If you get your credit checked and see what's going on for free. One time a year. That's what they tell you. One time a year. Remember to lift the freeze off temporarily if you are obtaining or applying for something that requires a credit check. They say, are you a victim of identity theft? Here's what to do. Placing a freeze can be done online or by phone. You can always go to PIRG step-by-step guide to credit freezes. You can also sign up for services that monitor your accounts. That's what they offered me from JP Morgan Chase.
Well, they will monitor your services
for 2 years. For 2 years. Of course, having strong passwords help. And it says your worst enemy may be you. As much or more that scammers also rely on people to reveal sensitive information about themselves. One common tactic is to pose as your bank, employer, phone company, or other service provider with whom you've done business, and then try to hook you with a text or email message. Banks, for example, routinely tell customers that they will not ask for their account information by phone. Nevertheless, scammers have coaxed victims into providing their account numbers, logins, and passwords by posing as a bank security officer. They just got all kind of skullduggery going on.
Well, you think about it. When somebody calls and they say, okay, so-and-so, this is, John calling. Because they said your name, that takes your guard down the first thing, because they call you by name.
Or this is the
And,
one to
and
get me. This one to get me when they call you up and you answer the phone and say hello, and they'll go, well, Mrs. Love, can you hear me good? And then you say yes, and they record that so they can take your recording and answer yes because it's in your voice. I thought,
yes,
how
correct.
and then we got AI now, artificial intelligence. So that's a whole nother story. Okay, so if you're on Social Security or you know somebody who's on Social Security, share that information with them and tell them to do their due diligence, check their credit scores, check your credit cards too, because they can get your number. They got the little thing where you put it in the ATM
Yeah, the
machine,
scanners.
in the
Yeah, the
scanner,
scammers.
and
Yeah.
that's another thing. They saying that we're going to get away from paper money and everything's going to be done by a card. And so that means everything that you have is going to all be compromised. I mean, when you can see the doctor on a telehealth and that bill is the same, just like you went into the doctor. I mean, but they figure like this kind of communication is human communication. I'm like,
Well,
and
it
things
is.
are
It's just
changing
not
so fast.
physical.
Women, things are changing so fast, it's making your head swim. Speaking of things happening so fast that make your head spin, Vice President Kamala Harris is as the nominee. Well, she'll be the nominee for the Democratic Democratic
Democratic
nominee
Party.
for the Democratic Party for the President of the United States of America. She is poised to be the POTUS. And I've never heard of a president dropping out of a race. And what did you think about President Biden, stepping back and saying, I'll put my support to the vice president so that we can, we have a chance of saving our democracy. What are
Well,
your
it
thoughts
was
on that?
it was the right thing to do, because clearly when you look at him, you can see that he was slowing down. I mean, that's something that happens to all of us. If you live long enough, if you're blessed to live long, your body starts to slow down when you get 80, 90. I mean, some people a lot sooner than that, depends on what kind of lifestyle you have. But but for the most part, I mean, he's lived a great life. I commend him for be willing to say, I think enough of this country that I'm not going to say I just have to be elected again for me to fulfill my personal, dreams. Because his personal dream maybe was to be president for 8 years. But when he looked at he's looking at his health, and he's looking at, okay, the state of the country that we find ourselves in at this
That's so
particular
divisive.
point in time, and said, would it if I really care about this country, am I willing to step down to assure that the country will be okay, or am I selfish and saying I want to just run anyway?
Oh, like that other guy with all
Well,
the
the other guy,
indictments.
okay, the other guy did not have the physical problems that Biden has. It may be around the corner for him, but at the moment he does not
It
have
may be
the
around
exact same.
the corner, sitting right in his face. I mean, he just had the craziest. And just when we think it can't get any crazier with that guy, he and Elon Musk had this 2 hour. I can't even call it a conversation. He just let him ramble on and on and on. And they said the people that count the lies that he tells every day said that before it got once it finally got started, that at the rip he told 20 different lies. And it's the same lie over the 20 different, they just lie.
Well,
So okay, then this is okay. So President Biden stepped aside and he said, I believe Kamala Harris will make a great president. She has the wherewithal, she has the experience, and she's much younger than her opponent. And I mean, some of the bizarre stuff that he was saying was just crazy. One minute he calling her all kind of names, and next minute he's saying, "Oh, she looks like a movie star. She looks so beautiful. It's a sketch on the cover of Time magazine. She looks beautiful like our first lady," and he called his current wife's name, and everybody went, "What? What?" So anyway, I don't think, well, obviously, the Republicans did not see this coming because they are in such a disarray to the point that if, the 45th can't even fathom how he got into this position. Then he was whining the other day. Well, I was running against Joe Biden. I wasn't running against Kamala Harris. And she just came in and everybody liked her. And she taking the spotlight away from me. And I want it back. And I'm just going to say whatever I want to say because I didn't get into this to debate her. Speaking of the debate, He has said he would do 3 debates with her. What is your mindset on that happening? And will it be? I mean, because he just had, I can't even say it was an interview with Elon Musk for 2 hours on his X station. That was Twitter. So do you think he could debate her? Debate her well, shall we say?
Whether he debates her well or not, yes, he could debate her. I mean, anybody could debate. I mean, you consider our conversation as a debate. We're first talking right now that is a debate. So yes, he could debate her. How well he would do or how well she would do, only you would never know until they actually debate, because all the talk beforehand is just somebody giving their opinion about what they think might happen until they actually have a debate. I mean, he's proposed to do 3. I mean, so that would have made him to have done 4 in all before the election. If they agreed to it. They've not agreed to the other 3 yet. No, the only one that Ms. Harris has agreed to is the one on ABC. That's the only one because that was already set. The other 2 that he's proposing to do, she has not agreed to that yet. So we don't know if those other 2 will even happen. At the moment, we only know that if all continues to go the way it is that they would have the one on ABC.
Okay. I think that he's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't even know if he's gonna show up. If you're whining behind closed doors about the momentum that she has, and she's taking away your thunder. She's not taking away your thunder. She built her own. She's built her own thunder, and she comes in roaring, and people love her. And they're gonna have some naysayers and some haters. And if you don't have haters, you're not doing your job. So to be, oh, she's not fit, and he coming up, she's a lunatic, and he just keeps calling her names, and and doing all that, and then you got J.D. Vance, his pick for his VP. And this one, I mean, I don't know if he's trying to out 45, the 45th, or what he's trying to do, because he's out on the campaign trail and he's talking back crap crazy too. What's your take on J.D. Vance? And he's from our home state.
Okay. That he sounds a lot like a younger version of Trump. Like it or not, I mean, these are the people. He sounds like a younger version of Trump. So if I don't think that Trump should be holding office, I wouldn't think that his choice for vice president should be holding office either. Both of them have extreme views of how they see America and how they feel America should be, which I don't think is in tune with the majority of Americans, whether you be Republican or Democrat. That all of us want to be able to just live our lives, want to be able to go to work, be able to take care of our family, to be all right. To say, when I listen to some of the things that they talk about or the things that they're proposing, I don't see where that would be good for the country. But I mean, they have a right to say what they think they would want to do. We as the voters have a right to choose who we want to be in office for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll make the choice. And I mean, one of the problems that we had earlier was that people were saying why they didn't think a lot of people would vote. It's because people were discouraged by 2 old men running for office.
Yeah, and now it's down to 1 old man running for office. But I mean, if you think about it, because he's what, 78?
Yes.
He's 78, so now 80, 81, and 2. If he, just hypothetically speaking, oh God, please help us, he will be 84 years old. Now he's talking about Joe Biden at 81, but you want to be he's not fit to be, I want to be 6'2". And just because I want to be 6'2" does not mean that that's going to happen. I can say it all day. It's not going to make it happen. Like when you should know better than to think I'm a victim. That was just, so sometimes, as you get older.
But we are victims. It is, and that is the definition. And when
we're not going back to that. We're not going back to that. I want to stay on the vice president and her picking up such momentum, as fast as she can. I mean, they raised something like $200 million to, for her campaign. And that's the part I got with all these politicians in this day and age of the internet. We have the richest political the House and the Senate and all of them. We got the most, and the majority of them are millionaires in their own right. And what bothers me is you got all this money, but you asking people that's robbing Peter to pay Paul, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out how they're gonna fix their kids' food, make sure they eat, make sure he or she eats, have gas money to get to work, that you got to work like a dog just to get enough money to pay one of your child's daycare bill. But you asking senior citizens, people on a fixed income, you asking us for $5, $10. Can you send us $200? Can you send us $949.44? It's only this much a day. Okay, but that's money coming out of my till. Why don't they use their own money? Okay, maybe you don't want to go to a super PAC. You just want to squeeze the grassroots out of people, and I think it's really, really unfair, and it's hypocritical of all you rich politicians or want to be rich politicians to want to put it on the back of poor people. And that's
okay, but they're not putting up.
And wait a minute, and then I look at my email, and I got I got 3 email addresses, and everybody. If just hypothetically speaking, if I sent out a donation to everybody that sent me to ask me for $5, just for $5, that would be they're asking for almost $500 a day, $500 a month from people. People don't have money like that. Why can't you spend your own money? That's what you're raising campaign funds for, and I think it's wrong to ask us to give you that money to donate it. And no, that's what I think.
Okay, well, if that's what you think, then I would assume that when you see these ads that come up and ask you to make a donation, you don't make a donation. I mean, no, because you're not forced to make a donation.
Right.
They're asking somebody to donate to their campaign.
Right.
So if you don't choose not to donate, then you don't donate. I mean, wait a minute. You don't have to become a victim of somebody asking you to do something that you feel that you financially or should not be doing for whatever reason. I mean, they're asking people to donate. You're not being made to donate.
No, you're not
asked to donate.
But you still got to scroll through your email. And I worked to get on the unsubscribe list, and then they just pass my name on to somebody else and pass my name on to somebody else. And I didn't know
do that make you donate because they pass your name on?
No, it don't make me donate because I'm not. I'm just making an observation. Okay. That's all I'm making. They don't want. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm gonna tell you this, because I have donated to campaigns up and down the ballot. I've done that before, and because I believe in the system. But I think all of these people got all this money, and they still, jumping up and down. Oh, please send me $5. Can you send me $200? Oh, you sign up for this site, and then it might take 30 days to get your name off the list. It didn't take you 30 days to get that $5 I donated. So it's got to be something for us. And they have all these, this is what I'm going to do for the people. And that's another thing. Why don't the Republicans just have AI put out the speech of what they're going to do for the country? What are they going to do to make us better, to live better? I just want to know about that.
Okay, well then that sounds like a question that you'll be asking the Republican Party because because they would be the one who would be able to answer that question,
right,
on why they're doing that or why they're not doing that. But one of the things that you and every other American has the right to say, no, I choose not to donate. If I choose to donate, I do. I mean, some people feel the need to want it because they want a specific candidate to get elected because they want to see a change.
That's
and they feel that they support and they feel by supporting that particular candidate will help get him in office so that he might be able to do some of the things that they want done. I mean, I'm quite sure they know that everybody that they ask to support them is not going to support them or be able to support them,
right,
even if they do support them by just only voting but not sending a donation. I mean, the bottom line comes in whether you send a donation or not. It comes down to who you end up voting for on election day, because whether you donated to that party or not, you fill out your ballot. You make your decision then who you want to be in office, in your opinion, because that's your vote.
That's what it
is.
And
we want as many people to vote as possible because that is the only way that we can affect change, or if you want to see change, is that you have to be willing to get out and vote.
You have to be willing to get out and vote. Well, as always, Mr. Kennedy, we always have a very lively conversation. One day, see, you better be glad I don't just hang up on you.
No, you can.
You
I
know
mean,
what? See,
now
thank you,
you
baby.
you
I
what
wasn't
brought it
kidding.
up.
Listen, it's over. Your conversation is over. Don't make me cut off your mic. And I live with this guy. Okay. I just want to say thank you all for paying attention, for listening to us. Check us out on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. I'm gonna start doing an Instagram story too. Thank you all for listening and watching. That's Janie and Mr. Joe Burton and all the rest of you all. Know that we love you. And remember this: no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love now and then. And don't ever, ever, ever underestimate the power of